we will learn about the stakeholder analysis chart or matrix. Whether you're embarking on a new project or navigating organizational change, understanding your stakeholders is absolutely crucial. It is a powerful tool in project management and strategic planning to identify, assess, and prioritize stakeholders based on their interest and influence in a project or initiative. It provides a structured approach to understanding stakeholders' needs, expectations, and potential impact on the endeavor's success. The first step is identifying stakeholders. This initial step involves identifying all individuals, groups, or organizations that have an interest in or may be impacted by the project. Stakeholders can be internal, for example, employees, management, or external, for example, customers, suppliers, regulatory agencies, community groups. It's essential to cast a wide net during this phase to ensure no relevant stakeholders are overlooked. The second is assessing stakeholder interest. Once stakeholders are identified, their level of interest in the project needs to be assessed. This can be done through surveys, interviews, or by analyzing past interactions. Stakeholder interest can be categorized as high, medium, or low based on factors such as their involvement, dependency on project outcomes, or potential impact. Third is evaluating stakeholder influence. In addition to interest, stakeholders' influence on the project also needs to be evaluated. Influence refers to the ability of stakeholders to affect project decisions, resources, or outcomes. Stakeholder influence can be categorized as high, medium, or low based on factors such as their authority, resources, expertise, or network. Fourth is plotting stakeholders on the matrix. The stakeholder analysis matrix typically consists of a grid with two axes, one representing stakeholder interest and the other representing stakeholder influence. Based on their assessed interest and influence, stakeholders are plotted on the matrix. The matrix is divided into 4 quadrants, each indicating a different level of engagement or management approach. The fifth is developing engagement strategies. Based on stakeholders' positions on the matrix, tailored engagement strategies can be developed for each group. Prioritize engagement efforts towards stakeholders in the top right quadrant, while maintaining appropriate levels of communication and involvement with other stakeholders. Lastly, reviewing and updating. The stakeholder analysis matrix should be reviewed and updated regularly throughout the project lifecycle. Adjust stakeholder positions and engagement strategies as circumstances change or new stakeholders emerge to ensure ongoing alignment with project objectives. Now let's see the quadrants of our stakeholder analysis matrix. Picture this matrix as a strategic battlefield, with each quadrant representing a different category of stakeholders based on their interests and influence. In the top right quadrant, we have our heavy hitters, stakeholders with high interest and high influence. Stakeholders in this quadrant have both a high level of interest in the project and significant influence over its outcomes. These stakeholders are typically key players who need to be actively engaged, consulted, and involved in decision-making processes. Examples may include project sponsors, top management, key customers, or influential community leaders. Moving to the top left quadrant, we have stakeholders with high interest but low influence. These folks may not hold the reins, but their opinions matter. While they may not have decision-making authority, their opinions and perceptions can still impact the project's success. It's important to keep these stakeholders informed, satisfied, and involved to mitigate potential risks or resistance. Examples may include frontline employees, local residents, or special interest groups. Now, in the bottom right quadrant, we have stakeholders with low interest but high influence. Stakeholders in this quadrant have low interest in the project but significant influence over its outcomes. While they may not be actively engaged, their support or opposition can have a significant impact on project progress. It's essential to monitor these stakeholders closely and manage their expectations to prevent potential obstacles or conflicts. Examples may include regulatory agencies, government bodies, or senior executives in other departments. Finally, in the bottom left quadrant, we have stakeholders with low interest and low influence. Stakeholders in this quadrant have both low interest in the project and limited influence over its outcomes. While they may not play a significant role in project execution, it's still important to keep them informed about project developments. Minimal resources or efforts are typically allocated to managing these stakeholders. Examples may include peripheral stakeholders, such as vendors or external consultants, who have minimal direct impact on project outcomes. Let's see the case analysis of launching a sustainable fashion line. A fashion company plans to launch a new line of sustainable clothing to cater to environmentally conscious consumers. The company aims to reduce its environmental footprint, promote ethical sourcing and manufacturing practices, and appeal to a growing market segment interested in eco-friendly fashion. First, we will identify the stakeholders. Customers. Interest is high. Customers are increasingly concerned about the environmental impact of their purchases and seek sustainable alternatives. Influence is medium. While individual customers may not have direct influence over the company's operations, their purchasing decisions collectively shape market trends. Investors. Interest is medium. Investors are interested in the company's financial performance and growth potential, including its ability to capture market share in the growing sustainable fashion market. Influence is high. Investors provide funding and may influence strategic decisions through their voting rights and involvement in shareholder meetings. Employees. Interest is high. Employees are concerned about the company's environmental and ethical practices, as well as job stability and career growth opportunities. Influence is medium. While individual employees may not have direct influence over company policies, collective actions such as petitions or protests could impact internal decisions. Suppliers. Interest is medium. Suppliers are interested in maintaining business relationships with the company and may need to adapt to meet sustainability requirements. Influence is medium. Suppliers can influence product quality, availability, and pricing, but they may also be influenced by demand from other customers and market trends. Regulatory agencies. Interest is low to medium. Regulatory agencies may have an interest in ensuring compliance with environmental and labor regulations but may not be directly involved in the company's day-to-day operations. Influence is medium to high. Regulatory agencies have the authority to enforce regulations and impose fines or sanctions for noncompliance, which could impact the company's operations and reputation. Now, let's see how to identify quadrants. High interest, high influence means top right quadrant. Key players are investors, influential customers, and employees with leadership roles or union representation. Engagement strategy is to actively engage with these stakeholders through transparent communication, involvement in decision-making processes, and promptly addressing their concerns and feedback. High interest, low influence means top left quadrant. Critical supporters are individual customers, employees without leadership roles, and local community groups. Engagement strategy is to keep these stakeholders informed about the company's sustainability initiatives, involve them in promotional activities, and address their concerns through community outreach programs and customer feedback channels. Low interest, high influence means bottom right quadrant. Regulatory bodies are environmental protection agencies, labor departments, and industry watchdogs. Engagement strategy is to ensure compliance with relevant regulations and standards, proactively address any environmental or labor-related issues, and maintain open communication channels with regulatory agencies. Low interest, low influence means bottom left quadrant. Peripheral stakeholders are vendors providing non-essential services, casual customers, and government agencies not directly involved in environmental regulation. The engagement strategy is to maintain basic communication channels to keep these stakeholders informed about the company's sustainability efforts but prioritize resources towards stakeholders with higher interest or influence. The conclusion is that by conducting a comprehensive stakeholder analysis, the fashion company has identified key stakeholders, assessed their interests and influence, and developed tailored engagement strategies to ensure the successful launch of its sustainable fashion line. By actively involving key stakeholders, addressing their concerns, and maintaining transparency throughout the process, the company builds trust, enhances its reputation, and positions itself as a leader in the sustainable fashion industry. Hope this helps you all. Do like, comment, share, and subscribe.